We'd like to welcome now Irina Miribales. She is a volunteer for Third Wave Volunteers. She's waiting to be deployed to help. Irina, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. What are you expecting to see once you get to these devastated areas, and how do you prepare yourself for that?
Well, one of the things that we need to do is make sure that whenever we go and volunteers in these places, that we don't become an issue as well. So we always need to be prepared to take care of ourselves during these situations. You don't really know what you're going to walk into. Every storm is different. When you're dealing with storm surge, you're going to be dealing with a lot of debris. And so we need to make sure that we're secure also so that we can get to the people and help them out as much as possible. But we really don't know what we're walking into in any of these situations. So every single one of them is different.
Yeah, precarious situation indeed. So you volunteered in Fort Myers after Hurricane Ian. What types of things did you see in the aftermath of that storm?
Uh, Ian was a beast. I think there was a lot of loss of life, and I think the plan needs to be made better for evacuations for people. There are some people that just couldn't get off the island in time, weren't notified in time. So when you're dealing with those kind of evacuations, you don't have enough time to get people that aren't able to get off of the islands off of the islands. So with Ian, we saw a lot of debris, a lot of debris. And I think one of the biggest things is, if I could heed anything to anybody, is just make sure that you get tetanus shots in time to save your life. We want to make sure that people survive after surviving. So these storms, every single one of them, like I said, is very, very different. And with Ian, what we dealt with was a lot of wind, a lot of rain, and a lot of loss of life.
Well, it's certainly an incredibly emotional situation, and we so appreciate you weighing in this morning and giving us your best assessment of what we're seeing right now. How do you believe this storm compares to Hurricane Ian?
Well, the storm surge is you can't, you can hide from the wind and the rain, but you can't really run from water like that. So depending on how many people evacuated, and with these waters rising, you really don't know. When they sit back and they say it could be 5 feet, it could be 7 feet, it could be 10 feet. We don't have a way to actually measure exactly what that storm surge is going to be. So when you have people that are staying in their homes because they don't want to leave, you don't really know what the water level is going to be like. So with these storms where you have high storm surges, you do end up getting a lot of loss of life in these areas that don't evacuate.
And what sort of supplies are you bringing to help these folks who are now in these devastated areas?
We have medical teams that are already ready to deploy. Everybody's pretty much getting ready. One of the things that we do take with us are solar lights. And one of the reasons for that is once the power goes out, you've got all of this debris everywhere. And so when it gets really dark out, people aren't able to see where they're walking and where they're going. And so we get them solar powered lights that they can actually put outside during the day, and it can save their lives at night. But we also take life straws with us so people can have access to clean water. And then we have medical teams that go door to door to make sure that people have the supplies that they need to survive medically, and also just to provide any kind of life-saving techniques that we have that we can help them to survive after surviving.
Yeah, those essentials that are so needed right now. This impacts not only this area of the country, but so many across the country because their loved ones are there. And obviously, when you're seeing people go through such incredible devastation, it pulls on your heartstrings. How can we help? What is the best way for people who are viewing these images to jump in and to lend a hand?
I would say to donate to organizations that do long work, long-term work, that stay there in the long term. Well, I've been in Fort Myers for almost 11 months now doing relief work. I think what people don't realize is in these disasters, you only see the first couple of days or the first couple of months, but the efforts continue for a very long time. And I know like organizations like Third Wave Volunteers, we keep going until we can't. So we stay for the long term. We've got teams in Maui now. We're going to have teams that are going to these areas. I've been in Fort Myers for almost 11 months. So we don't just go for the first couple of weeks. We stay long term. So I would say that donating to these organizations, smaller organizations, really does help because we make sure that that money is going directly to the people. whether it's helping them to rebuild their homes, making sure that they have the supplies for that, whatever their needs are, we try to meet them long term.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.